Hey, what's happening world? This is the House of Sticks channel. My name's Scott, and today we're gonna do a little something different. I'm gonna try to write on the whiteboard with this Expo marker. Today we're gonna talk about how you can accurately and effectively estimate projects so you can make some more money, so you can make this whole thing work, so you can keep on buying your camera gear, you can keep on buying your computers, and you can move out of your mom's basement. So with all that said, intro screen. So in the last video, we talked about the ways that you can figure out your hourly rate. I got a couple questions offline saying, hey, why does it matter to calculate your hourly rate? Because I work on a day rate or I work on a project rate. So what we really need to be able to do is look at your expenses, look at your income, make sure that your income is greater than your expenses so you can live life and you can have a career and all of those sorts of American dream. So now all you need to be able to do is figure out the amount of time it's going to take for you to accomplish the contract, multiply it times the hourly rate that you need, and you can come up with a project cost. Let's say you need, for your hourly rate, you need $75 per hour. In the last video, we talked about how many hours you can actually bill, right? You're not going to be able to bill 40 hours a week as a freelancer. It's just not going to happen. I would say we use 10. I think in the spreadsheet that I shared last week, in that spreadsheet, the assumption was 10 billable hours per week. And I know that sounds crazy, but think about the actual amount of time that you're able to bill a client from a freelancer standpoint. 10 hours maybe pretty accurate. So let's back here. Let's say your billable hours need to be at $75 an hour over 10 hours per week, right? So that means that you need to be able to bill at what? $750 a week. Middle school here, 75 times 10 equals $750 per week. Interesting fact here, and one that is valuable for you to know, that if your yearly salary is $50,000, effectively you are making $25 per hour. Working in corporate America sucks. I've already established the fact that I don't like corporate America. I made a previous video about, getting out of corporate America, steps to getting out of corporate America. You can see that link up here. I'll post a link to the Why Corporate America Sucks video up here. But corporate America really does offer some valuable things. This $25 an hour payment that your corporation is giving you has some other stuff baked into it. This is what you take home. But your company pays for other things. Hopefully they pay for health insurance. Hopefully they pay for time off. Hopefully they pay for workers' comp, some sort of form of insurance. They have to pay taxes on that money, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So in order to find your hourly rate from a salary, all you really need to do is divide by 2,000. So the way we come up with that 2,000 hours is you're going to say there are 40 working hours in a week, and there are 52 weeks in a year. And you roughly put those together. 4 times 5, carry the 2, add 3, whatever it is, and you basically come up with 2,000 work hours in a year. Hey, good tip for all of you out there. Start counting your hours. No matter if you're working on an hourly rate or a project rate or a day rate, start counting your hours. So keeping track of your hours is going to do, one, it's going to let you understand how effective you are in accomplishing the tasks that you need to do. Hopefully over time you can find some efficiencies. You can get better at video editing. You can get better at using Lightroom. You can get better at using all of these tools that you need to use to make your hourly rate more effective. Because if you now do a project more quickly, then you can essentially make more money per hour. Secondly, if you can figure out the amount of effort that each project takes, you can figure out which projects are the most valuable. Let's say you can charge $1,000 to video edit something, right? So let's say you've got, in this column, you've got $1,000 to do this is a video editing project. $1,000 to do that. And on this side, you've got to take pictures. You've got $1,000 over here for this photography project. Let's say for this video editing project, you put an average of 100 hours into it. let's say on this photography project, you're going to put 60 hours into it. So effectively here, your hourly rate for this project is $10 an hour. Okay? Your effective rate for this project is $16 an hour. With all that said, what should you do? My suggestion would be either stop doing video editing projects or make sure you're charging $1,600 an hour. Either that or only choose more photography projects. That's why you should understand the amount of effort that goes into any one of your projects. So the only way to effectively understand how much effort it's going to take for you to accomplish a project is to count your hours. I know it seems ridiculous and totally not fun, but it's as easy as getting into an Excel spreadsheet, starting the start time and the end time on every project. There are plenty of apps out there like TimeCop and some other ones that I can't think of. But if you can use one of those, you can understand the amount of effort it's going to take for you to do a project, then you can understand your hourly rate, and so when you come to actually bid a project, you can know exactly how much you need to bid for that project. Here's another tip for you. Make sure that when you actually do that project, that you add some buffer in there. Either add some extra hours to it or increase your hourly rate to accomplish any sort of overages that are going to happen, because you know they're going to happen. Contingencies are always an interesting fact for any project. You need to be able to successfully get around, exclude, stop doing any sort of extra work that's not included in the scope of the work. Contingencies. When you make your statement of work, hopefully what you're doing is you can add a little bit extra in there so that you can have room should anything go wrong, or have an extra profit margin, or whatever. Keep in mind here that working with every project and every client, you are providing them with an experience, right? You are going to provide your clients with experience. So you need to provide a great experience. So make sure that when you bid projects, you can bid enough margin in your contingency to make sure that you can provide a really, really high quality project and still make some money. Now, back to the whole hourly rate, make sure that you're counting your hours, because if you ever get into a situation where you need to use that contingency, or you've written into the project actually a line item that says contingency, that you can charge X number of dollars should, Y thing happen, make sure that you can successfully deliver them a document that says, hey, this is when I worked on this project. I worked on this project February 1st, February 2nd, February 3rd for 3 hours, 4 hours, and 6 hours. Therefore, I need 13 extra hours at my effective hourly rate of $75. So you can send a bill, and they know, they have some confidence in knowing that whatever extra work that you're going to bill them for, that they can look at it and say, oh, I guess the changes that I requested actually required some extra work. So the documentation of the hours that you have into any project are going to be really important for you in 3 ways. Number 1, that way you can understand how many hours you have into a project, how long it takes for you to accomplish the work that you need to do in a project. Number 2, that way you can understand which projects are most valuable to you and your business. Number 3, your ability to understand how much effort goes into a project is really going to help you determine how much to charge for a project. If you can provide documentation to any of your clients so that they can see the level of effort that you put into a project, it's going to help both you and them, so they can be more comfortable with the thing that you're going to provide them. They can understand why you're charging them and the amount of time it takes you to actually do things. The more effective you can be at your job, the faster you can get things done while still providing a high level of quality is going to allow your effective hourly billing rate to increase. But hey, with all that said, I hope you like this content. I hope it's valuable to you. If you like the content, please subscribe. Please check out the other videos, make some comments. It's super encouraging to hear all that stuff. Hey, right here I'm going to put a link to last week's video. Right here in this circle I'm going to put a link to subscribe. My name's Scott Stakane. This is the House of Sticks channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next Monday.